Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women, welcome to the Man Culture and Arts podcast. Hapa ndio tulisemanga let the man talk. This is the 5th episode. Tunasonga. That's a good journey. Gentlemen, mko easy?
Tuko salama. Tuko fresh.
Mbona nimeitana gentlemen mkatulia? Don't you identify as one?
It's because of my beards, eh?
Oh, the beard gang. Karibuni sana kwa Man Culture and Arts. Do you guys know men have larger hearts than women? Roho za men ni bigger, even the blood vessels, even lungs, than women. Probably ndio tunakuanga na shida za mapenzi.
Did you know, here's a fun fact for you. Proportionally, some parts of your body are equal to others, yeah? So your heart, the size of your fist, is proportional to the size of your heart.
The size of my fist is proportional to the size of my heart.
So if you clench your fist, that's the size of your heart.
Roho yangu, mapenzi yangu
the same way from here to here is the size of your foot, yeah?
No way.
So weka kiatu one.
That looks like 1 acre of food.
Check it. It's proportional. Si lazima. Ukienda kununua viatu si lazima utoe kiatu. Unaweza tu weka hapo.
Na ile naonanga ya wazazi tunapima waist.
Hiyo labda Inspector Mwala bana.
Jack, umesikia the size of your organs ni equal to others. Tafakari ya babu. Maze kutoka tuanze hii episode tumekuwa tukijaribu kujiuliza, not the episode, the podcast. Tukijiuliza identity ya man. Man ni nani kwa society na mfremaji from our own perspective. Si story na what we have learned from the books or what NGOs teach us to say. It is how you experience, and this is your truth. So viewer ki watch, it's about what we feel and it's our experience. So mtu asianze kusema no, it's a lie. It's not a lie, it's what I know. Leo nataka to delve into something a little bit controversial and hard. Man and abuse. Abuse. Unajua meeting zote umeenda za abuse zinakuanga more about women. Hata ikiitwa GBV, they'll never talk about men. But kitu watu wajui, kuna abuse in the finance area, kuna abuse in the relationship, kuna abuse in family. Gilly, for those who don't know, Gilbert is a philanthropist. He has been dealing with young children and vulnerable people in the society. He is also a renowned mountaineer. Huyu amebakisha Mount Everest. Kilimanjaro umepanda bro?
Over 30 times.
Mimi nishai piganjaro. So bro, abuse. Unajua wasee wa understand abuse inaanza ukiwa pale ukiwa mless. What is your experience na watoi na especially the Boychild na story abuse?
Man, your story by then he had you see, especially I'm happy by then to be in your show. There's so much we can talk.
Oh yes.
Right now my mind is running. Hata sijui nitaanzia wapi. But I can start probably with a very simple example. You know, I work in an environment where I deal with children from different backgrounds. Sure. The ones who come from the slums, wapi, nini, unajua. And it's not all of them that come from the slums that they need help. Even nuku kwa vijiji, kwenye tunakaa kwa mitaa, in your family you have someone who has passed, he's left his kid, there's a boy, there's a girl. Who is the first person to be rescued in that family setup? It's always the girl. Why? The girl looks to be so vulnerable. Yeah, sure. What about the boys? And you see, the abuse for men actually did not start yesterday. It started way back with our great-great-grandparents. Unajua? Why? A man is the head of the family. but literally that's a lie. Unajua. So ukipata wewe unaambiwa wewe ndio head of the family and you are not, unajua the head of the family ndio ile amekaa pale na ongeangi mingi, anakupatianga tu macho. Wewe unajua ukipoa hiyo macho unajua unafaa uto line. Unacheki. So example kama yenye napeana na hao watu hii, and some of the things that I've seen that happens in our society. You know, the first person to be rescued is always the girl. Why? She looks to be more vulnerable. And this goes back to our culture and how we've been raised and how we've been brought. And I think unajua wakati women decided to go, ilikuwa kwa Geneva wakuwe na equal rights as men and women. I think hapo ndio actually vitu zilianza kwenda south kidogo. Wacha ni sound a bit controversial. Ziende south kidogo kwa sababu hawezi sema kuna mtei mmoja special kushinda mwingine. Ama kuna mtei mmoja ati yako vulnerable kushinda mwingine. Wote ni watoi. Tukiongea maneno ya Children's Act, Children's Act, it's a child who is a child. Unajua? But the minute tunaanza kusema boy child, girl child, already we've created a division. That is where the problem begins in the society. And that is something that we have to grow with. That is something we still have to fight. Hata wakati tumesettle kwa
Bro, allow me to cut you short. Na Chomba, since you're in the legal fraternity, unfortunately, lazima tuingilie profession. By the way, if you want the best service when it comes to legal representation, we got you, bro.
Thank you.
So Chomba, kuna kitu Gili hapa amesema yenye imetrigger my mind. Why are we calling them Boychild na Girlchild na kuna only Children's Act? Hakuna Boychild Act na Girlchild Act. Don't you find like we are discriminatory unintentionally ama ni intentional?
Okay. Number one, thank you very much for having me on your podcast.
Karibu sana bro.
Ni privilege na niona. Nimekuwa nikiwatazama kwa runinga. Now I've gotten an opportunity. Now I've gotten an opportunity to finally appear. Yeah. Okay. Okay. It's yes and no. It's a two tier. Number one, we are all human beings.
Sure.
So in Kenya law, for example, if a child is neglected or harmed, number one, it will either come under the Penal Code or the Sexual Offences Act. You know, if you commit a sexual offense, that's a sexual offense. Yeah. The area of culpability is higher when it is a minor involved. You know, for example, when it comes to intimate relationships, a minor, that is somebody under 18, cannot consent. So anything below 18 will be considered to be rape, whether the child agreed to the act or did not. Yes? And the same with the penal code. Kuiba ni kuiba. Just that you be taken to the Boston or institution.
Unajua tunatoka society yenye jeshi ya nduthi inaona mtu wa form 2 inaanza kusema haka kako ripe. Mumesikia?
Yeah. Wale. Alikuwa na revenge.
Hadi anataka kunikatia nikisema mumesikia anything below 18 miaka 42 inakungoja bro. Yeah, you're saying something. Ni vile na find kwa society to normalize especially, and we see it in Watharau ama ni nini, because I come from this the community mahali wase wanduthi wanaanza kuona watoto wa high school like they are mature, and when it comes to teen pregnancies wao ndio wana
unajua inaitwa consensual age. Hiyo consensual age walifanya hivi the pioneers, si hata hapa Kenya, the first people who are creating the laws, the Greeks and Athens and all. When you create a law through a democratic process, it's based on some scientific research or some thinking.
Sure.
So they found that a human being is able to make a logical choice. Sababu unaweza join army at 18. Sababu unaweza vote at 18. Sababu unaweza kuwa na hiyo relations at 18. Because that's when they find the human brain ni capable of that decision making. So unaweza kucheki dem ni mrembo ati ameiva nini, lakini bado kwa kichwa 14-year-old is still a kid. Unaweza kumweka box ukweli, but she's not capable of making those decisions for herself. Lakini hii ingine ya boy child, girl child, my personal opinion ni unajua zamani the girl child hawako wanasomeshwa, walikuwa wanakaa home. But I think your mambo ilisha like in the 70s. Since then, hata nikiwa kole, 70% of our class was females.
Ni sure?
even financed to Kenya School of Law.
But Gili. Ina depend mahali alisomea. Mimi nilisomea Kenya Poli. Course za ndume bwana, plumbing. So, building and construction. Hadi ule dema kwa class unless umwangalie uso. The other part is in a car, Boychild.
Yeah.
But I concur with you. The ratio is iko juu pia. The ladies wako shule.
Yeah.
It's not like 90s tukigrow venye tuliambiwa there was quite a high disparity. Maybe cut short your story ni vile nimekumbuka hiyo
I'm saying so me I just think it's been overtaken by events. Obviously there's still those marginalized societies huko Turkana, Tana Delta, obvious bado iko, but ni kama South Africa for example, kuna wakati kulikuwa na hiyo apartheid. So wakasema after Mandela became president, kama uko na multinational company lazima ulete Waafrika blacks on your BOG, on your board. It's called affirmative action.
Affirmative action, yeah.
Lakini sasa unapata ni 2024, Waafrika ndio wako na power more kushinda wazungu, lakini bado hizo affirmative action hazijatolewa. So mi si South Africa, lakini nikiangalia kwa TikTok, sasa wale wasee wana complain. Ni 2024, mi nimeanza radio station yangu, ANC nasema lazima nitafute Waafrika kwa board.
Na wewe ni African.
So kuna vitu zingine naona kama zilipitwa na wakati.
Yeah. Thanks Chomba. Gili, let me get back to you. Juu hii story ya Boychild, kuna ukienda forums za gender na which I know you are an enthusiast, they tell you the woman has been degraded and whatnot, which we do not dispute. In some instances it is. Bado narudi pale tukiwa wadogo. Gender roles. Mimi nikigrow nilikuwa naambiwa ukijaribu kukanyaga hiyo kitchen, you are not a man enough. But nikiangalia zile roles nilikuwa nafanya ushago, tunalima na ng'ombe, naendea maji usiku kwa borehole which is huge task. So sister yangu itabidi apike. I think there was a balance, but ukikuja tao hakuna hizo roles.
Yeah.
Boychild inabidi afanye zile tulikuwa tunaita za Girlchild. What do you think? Do you think Boychild anaanza kufinyiliwa at some point, ama as Chomba has said, things have changed na hatutaki kuchange?
You know, that is a very tricky conversation.
Let the man talk, bro.
Unataka kuniweka kwa spotlight. Like, mimi nasemanga, how me I look at it, I don't look at boy or girl. I look at them as children. You know, they all deserve equal opportunity and equal platform. Unajua, the boy child amefinyiliwa pia, as much as we are saying the girl child amefinyiliwa pia. But if we keep on having conversation, especially when we are raising both daughters and sons,
yeah.
You know, if we keep on the conversation of how should the boy be treated, how should the girl be treated, I think sasa tutakuwa tunarudi tena on the stone age. Unajua, saizi ni kuangalia, this is a kid, they are all below the age of 18. Unajua, you should give them equal opportunity. Unajua, your son, he loves cooking, let him cook. Unajua, your daughter loves mechanic, he loves cars more than your son. Go for a drive with him. Ukienda garage, ingia naye wacha angalie.
Wacha ingie chini ya gari.
And I think the solution for all this, by the way, ni tuache kuchola hizo boundaries.
Yeah.
We stop grouping.
The cocoons.
We stop grouping, we stop drawing boundaries. Because those are the genesis of all the problems that we have so easy.
Well,
why Boychild is Boychild, and why women will talk about women. You get? Yeah. Because if you look at it, as in imbalance imekuwa, but what are we doing about it? And I think, and I'm happy, you know, because I think this is when we need to stop, unajua, categorizing. And as parents, we need to stop talking about Girlchild and Boychild and things like that. For instance, I'll give you an example. I work in the NGO world. We go to school, we give girls sanitary pads. You divide those girls, you put them in a different class, alafu unachukua maboys unaweka kwa class tofauti.
Unawapea ngodha za cowboy.
Unacheki. Sasa zingine atopatia wa maboys hata wapatiwe pengine hizo ma cowboy. Unacheki hao ni tumia cowboy.
ile iko na strings attached.
But you see the thing here is you just have to look at how are you dealing with issues right now. You know, ukiwa kwa nyumba wewe na uko na daughter na son, do you separate them and you talk to your daughter separately, especially when it comes to behavior change na vitu kama hizo? You put them together. And it's the same thing. Even the teachers wanafaa wabadilishe hiyo story. Ati mnachukua wasichana mnaweka kando. Ukiweka kando, the boys start feeling the girls are always brought presents every time and they are put on the side. Alafu wako na watu wazuri wanaoongelesha. Unaget? As in it's a basic need. They need to grow and know. Unajua, we did a reproductive health nikikumbuka time ya 844. Hatukuwa tunaseparatiwa kwa class tukifunzwa maneno ya puberty, you get. So as in I think we just need to like just we are too cool to we just do things that are supposed to be done. Unaweza kudraw hizo ma lines.
Unanikumbusha previous episode tulikuwa na guest anaitwa Muri wa Kefiro. He gave us an example akiwa primary venye he always became number 2. Na alikuwa anashindwa na msichana.
Ndio.
So the teacher told mwalimu akaambiwa muadvise. The advice he gave the guy was, wewe kazi yako ni kushindwa tu na msichana. So akishindwa na msichana anamtandika. He grew a rebellion against girls. Because hiyo kuonyeshwa ni kama akona disability kushindwa na msichana. So guys, you may think this conversation is outdated, but hata sisi wasi exposed. Gilly has given us a very clear way of looking at it. Stop segregating children. They are children, man.
It's 2024, man.
It's 2024 for heaven's sake. Na sasa turuke hiyo sekta ya nini ya watoto sasa. Now umefika 18. You are an adult now. Unaweza itwa Boychild. Have you experienced abuse?
Have you experienced abuse?
Oh yes. Oh hallelujah. No, honestly,
yes. Oh man, as in hakuna mwanaume haja experience abuse. We are abused with the people we love the most. Unajua si strangers.
Takes a sip.
And if you didn't experience it, you're about to experience it now.
Chomba, man, abuse. Huku nje huko masculine nini
but you know bro, this thing abuse comes through so many different forms. You know, there's physical. When you think of abuse, you think of physical abuse. But I would say in 2024, even these days now, there's emotional abuse. You know.
And I think it's more prevalent than physical.
Afadhali kuchapwa than kutusiwa kila siku meni bana.
Gilly, by those we love the most. Elaborate.
As in, when we talk about men and abuse, and we go back to even issue of mental health, you know. Why do you see some of our friends walking and talking by themselves? Unajua? Why do you find, and this is a question actually to women, this is something they should be asking yourself.
Oh, and they are watching our religious.
Why do you think your man does not come home early as he used to when you used to date? You used to go out together. Unajua mnaenda nyumbani pamoja.
Sasa anakuambianga nimeenda na maboys.
Sasa tunaenda na maboys. Lakini maboys wanatoka wanamwacha kwa bar, jamaa anakaa anajaribu kupiga hesabu. Nitafika nyumbani aje. Unajua? As in why as in the first place which is as in any man, unajua?
That should be a sanctum.
Any man, his house, he makes it as more comfortable because that is the place he wants to spend most of his time. But when a man starts spending more time in the bar or outside his house, you know, as a woman, you should start asking yourself why. Unajua? When we talk about abuse, it's not about physical ama cause of mistrust. It's the kind of conversation you have in the house. Unajua? Nikifika kwa nyumba niulizwe, hey, how was your day? How was work today? What do you want to eat for dinner today? Like the way we used to date. I'll be happy, I will run home. I'm not talking about myself, I'm just talking about the general. Unajua? So I should not be, I should not be misquoted. Tuko na wakili hapa, anything you say might be used against you.
But at least tuko na wakili.
But you see, the thing is, tuambiane ukweli. Ikifika hiyo point, mwanaume hataki kwenda nyumbani, unajua? Because kuna kitu inamsumbua. You know, as in it's not something that is outside there that we can ignore. You see, there are so many people who are going through mental health. And it's also the same even with women. There are women who don't want to go to their homes. Why? Because of the abuse that they get. But now we are talking about men. Unajua, why does your man change all of a sudden like this? Not that si ati akupendi, bado anakupenda, ana provide, but inafika pahali ikisema ni time yake ya kwenda nyumbani, anasikia ugumu wa kwenda nyumbani. Kwa nini? The home that you are building to be a home where you want to spend the rest of your life now becomes as in so scary, as in kama unakumbuka ukitwa staff room.
Oh yes.
Yeah, when you were in primo ama when you were in
high school.
High school. Ukitwa staff room ulikuwa unajua uko unaenda vita.
Yeah, mambo.
So imefika nyumbani wewe uko na kwako unajua lakini ikifika time ya kwenda home unaanza kutense wenye unaanza ukienda staff room.
War is raw and raw is war.
Unaanza kucook story. I mentioned TikTok nikakumbuka I was watching a video. Jamaa ako hapo nje ya nyumba yake ana rehearse what to say.
Yeah. True.
Ati sasa tulikuwa na Shoba na Giri alafu that one won't sell.
Yeah.
So Chomba,
best yangu gari yake iliharibika sasa hatuko him. Alafu toke boy ikakatika gari yangu ikateremka ikaingia kwa mtaro. So zote mbili zikakuwa.
Sometimes it's the truth but no one wants to listen. I think I have shared with a lot of men who say the problem is when it comes to intimate relationship, abuse in intimate relationship,
yes,
you are not given a chance to speak yourself out. Your significant other is a judge, accuser, plaintiff, nini.
Yeah.
So giving the story ni from here to Timbuktu.
Yeah.
Bro, wanaume wajakuja wakikuambia uwasaidie.
Unajua in law even sometimes we're told hata kama hatukufunzwa hivyo tukiwa law school, you're told a part of it is therapy, yeah?
Okay.
So for example, I have people who come to my office and they tell me they want to divorce, for example. Even a lady will be like, oh, what that man did to me this weekend, you know, this weekend he did A, B, C, D. And so me, I want to initiate the divorce process. And if you are a practitioner of law in your right mind, you should look at the situation. Don't be so quick to go along. You start telling them you do know divorce is a finality. That is going to nullify a marriage. I remember that's what I used to go. Don't make decisions when you're mad. Kuna kumbuka hiyo wimbo? Pack your things and run along. Yeah. So
karaoke on MC podcast.
So it isn't. Sometimes you need to be able to explain to your client before they make such rash decisions. But outside of law, easy vitu ni subjective bana. You need by the time you go on a date mtu. You know, a leopard doesn't change its spots, eh? When you're dating somebody, I mean, yeah.
Musamiati ya siku.
Wahenga walisema.
Muhenga Shoba.
Muhenga Shoba.
You know, a leopard doesn't change its spots, so there are these telltale signs. If a lady, when you are on campus, girlfriend and boyfriend, those days she was locking you out of your cubicle, your bedsitter campus. Now you think because you live in Runda and you bought her a Range Rover. Bado, wembe ni ule ule.
The spots ni zile.
Wembe ni ule ule. So, you just also need to be, as a rational human being, just pick your partner properly. Yeah? Hii mambo ya kuchange. Yes, human beings can change. We all change, but to a certain degree. You can change, there are certain things you can change, but there are certain things which are intrinsic, ingrained in you. And also you can look at someone's family background, for example. If somebody came from an abusive family, yeah, that's not their wish, yeah? And no, you shouldn't judge it against them, but at the same time, statistically, they are more likely to reflect the same in your relationship, the same pattern.
Yeah. That makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because I have seen in many situations, kama ukiangalia the family, if the mother was so abusive, the lady is most likely, hata kama wakati yajui. Now, my question is, when do I have seen ladies when they're in abusive, toxic relationship being advised, get out. Hii itakuchoma, utachomeka bro, it's not good for you. For us men, do we?
Vumilia, naambiwa vumilia kimwanaume.
Mwanaume ni kuvumilia. Buda, wenye usikianga mwanaume ni kiatu. But I think hapo ndio ile challenge kubwa iko. Most of the men are scared of walking away even when they know it is not going anywhere. And that's why unapata unasikia msee best yako mlikuwa kwa mnakunywa naye alicommit suicide.
Yeah.
That's why unapata so many guys that you know and you thought they were great have turned into other behaviors that, you know, as in when they just look for things to divert their mind, unajua, at least ile kujiconsole, but in the process they are actually destroying themselves. It's quite I don't know, as I think in this show you need to bring proper experts to advise men on how to deal with abusive relationship, because you find so many men who are in abusive relationship, they cannot talk.
Yeah.
Why? Because if I come and I say, you know, I'm in an abusive relationship, unasema gili. Nafanya natambia ngoku kama ndugu. Abusive relationship aji. But you see, it may not be physical.
We see you as a lesser man.
You see, it's emotional. Na hamta realize kitu itanikula ile siku mtasikia gili commit suicide ama gili alidedi ama gili sasa mtaanza kumwona tao akibeba magunia akiokota vipi ndio mnaanza kusemanga na huyu msee alichizi,
kumbe kulikuwa na shida,
ile pombe alikuwa anakunywa ndio imemchizisha. But in actual
we victimize
sense,
you more.
Exactly, but in actual sense there is something that has pushed this man to the edge. But the question is, until when will men be able to say, like the way women say, you know, this thing is not working out, I want a break. You know, it's easy for women to say, I want a break. But for men to say, I want a break. Or you're breaking up with me because you found another woman, you're breaking up with me because sababu kona mtu mwingine. Do you know when a woman says she wants a break, honestly speaking, hata mwanaume, you don't even think about...
You don't even counter-argue.
You don't even counter-argue. You keep quiet because you're like, you know, if it's not working out and you feel you're not happy, and probably you deserve that break to clear your mind and everything else, it is okay.
It is okay.
But for most of the men that I've interacted and spoken with, when they say they want a break, it turns out to be violent. It turns out now...
Hell breaks loose.
Yeah, they're being accused. Oh, now you are seeing somebody else. I knew it from the beginning. There was that person. Boss, wacha, it takes...
Hiyo nitatumiwa
too much.
No, me, I'm not afraid of TMI, too much information, because this podcast for me is also therapy.
The people who are going through these things.
No, I've ever approached him actually going through the same. That word scared. Because relationship ilikuwa imenichosha, it was physical, it was psychologically torturing nini, but hiyo confidence ya kusema now we can't do this again. I'm afraid about my parents, wataniona aje, the church, the society, the drinking mates when you're like, hey maze, your relationship yako ni the best, demu yako ni msafi, bro. Kenya na go through ndani.
And then you see the man of now, that's why she brought a very important aspect here. Long time ago, our fathers, for example, it was seen as a lesser man to seek help, to speak to somebody.
Oh, yes.
These days, therapy is an option. Let me tell you, therapy is an option. You know, it's not that people used to think to see a therapist or to speak to somebody is a means of defeat. Ama wengine wanasema unajua naonanga daktari huyu ni mwendo wazimu. There's so many things that
actually
happen
that's
to
what
you.
They say.
There's so many things that happen to you in life. It can be losing a loved one.
You
know, one day you wake up, you have lost someone important, integral to you. You know, it can be you're having a hard time in the office. In fact, you know, some of the worst toxicity we're here saying, partner, you can have a bad wife or a bad husband. Can you imagine boss having a bad boss?
Actually, I wanted to come there, and abuse is not just with our intimate partners. Tumesema ya family, relationship. Kuna hadi now ya even friends and at work. So as you conclude that point of Ebu paint a picture of abuse at work.
Not like me. I told some of my employees, the beatings will continue until employee morale improves, and now they're working. No, it's a joke. No, it's you know, in a workspace, for example, haitakuwa nobody physically assault you in a workspace, and if they did, that would be a criminal act. Report to your closest police, you know, regardless of whether it's the president or it's a minister or it's a business owner. But what you see in the workplace a lot of the time is what we're talking about, mental and emotional abuse. You know, people holding things above you, you know. It can be anything, a female colleague who asks you to take her shift, yeah, because she knows you need them now.
Utakubali.
Yeah, exactly.
Na usipo itaka you are not a gentleman.
Or your supervisor account iko na short na kuambia wewe sema ni wewe ulipata hiyo shortfall ama nitakuchuja ama sitakuita job next week. You know, that's also a form of abuse, yeah. So like it comes in very many spectrums, and one thing I would say, even if you're not speaking to a therapist, speak to somebody. Me and Gilbert, when we sit down and we have our drink once in a while, we discuss these things. He advises me, I advise him. And sometimes you don't even need the advice, you just need to get it out.
Oh yes.
Umesikia sometimes unataka tu kutoa.
Oh yes. Kuiongea tu.
Yeah.
Wow.
So speak, whether it's a pastor, whether it's a sister, a brother, your friend, boss, bartender. Najua bartenders wanakuanga qualified therapists.
Now, umetuweka kwa topic. Mimi na Jake hata kuna siku tumesema tutaanzisha show ya TV inaitwa The Bartender.
Yeah.
Because especially utu joints tudogo, not the big establishments, yenye mko na one-on-one with the waitress. They don't judge you. They don't care to know who you are. They just listen to you. Something men lack. No one will listen to you without judging, without looking at the position you are in the society, what not. And bartender wanafaa kurejistariwa as qualified. Ladies and gentlemen, all the viewers, friends, subscribers on the MCA podcast, Men, Culture and Arts. Today we have been hosted in one of the most iconic places in Mount Kenya East. Wale wa watu wa 10 things to do in Embu, ati number 1, drive to Meru, number 2, have a drink while you are driving to Meru. You guys, you have not known about a place, a hidden gem known as Kosika. This place is cozy, even if you don't have a cozy car. My friends! Angalia kitu iko kwa meza bro, Haraka demu yako ni wa Mutura jioni saa ingine. Upgrade bwana. As we are moving this conversation forward, we are picking up Kosika for this opportunity, and hiyo ndio place ile unakujanga kuchila, kurelax, but tu ambaya walikuwa na event hapa ya R&B iliweza sana. Ungeona millennials wakianguka nayo na muziki zenye beats ni BPM ni 12. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kosika Restaurant.